In a challenge mode raid, Vasa is found in the second room of the third floor, and there are methods for both solo and standard team raids that solve the boss with speed and safety. However, a 100-man scale presents to us a new problem that could not be solved with ordinary means. Vasa's boulders hit 45 through prayer each. A single stray boulder hurled at a group of players is catastrophic, and statistically will cause at least one death. It's both the deadliest and the hardest boss before all. Today, we present a guide to the Megascale solution. Using this method, there are 4 defined roles: tank, backup tank, DPS, and hammers. For the purpose of this video, I'll be focusing specifically on the DPS role, as the other 3 are going to be covered by selected players. This is what your inventory should look like for the Vasa as a DPS role. You only need one spec weapon, either a Dragon Warhammer or Dragon Claws, and you'll be assigned which one to use. Some DPS players don't need a spec weapon at all. This is the challenge mode Vasa room layout, and it's important to understand it as it will tell you where it's safe to go and where it's not. The Vasa method relies on exploiting Vasa's attack mechanic, in which he'll always prioritize players to his east side. He also throws a maximum of 3 boulders at any given time. Knowing this, we'll have 3 tanks aggroing these boulders regardless of where Vasa moves. The only time the tanks cannot aggro the hits is when teleports occur and they are stunned, for which we will have 3 backup tanks to take their spots until they recover. Here's the overview. As a DPS role, your main priority is to stay west of Vasa at all times. This means he'll never attack you as he prioritizes the tanks to the east. You will be responsible for DPS on Vasa with your T-bow or ACB, and for DPS on the crystal with a stab weapon. With this strategy, we will always kill one crystal and then ignore the next. This is because we do not have enough DPS to kill both crystals before the next teleport. When killing a crystal, use your hammer or claws once. Since you'll be ignoring the next crystal, you always have enough spec for the crystals you attack. As a forewarning, always make sure to keep your character 99 HP or above. Staying 115 is recommended, and make sure to play range and rigor. Let's move on to the specifics. You'll begin the fight in your melee gear inside the room as Vasa spawns. If you're stunned when the teleport occurs, spam click all the way west. If you're not stunned when the teleport occurs, go to the west side of Vasa's hitbox and pray mage the explosion. Afterwards, move all the way west. Do not bother with any attacks at this point, your priority is to get to these safe tiles. Here, you'll not take any damage from Vasa, neither boulders nor trample. At this point, Vasa will choose a crystal to go to. For the first crystal, you always need to go to it as soon as you can. There's no point dealing damage to Vasa yet, as he'll just heal back to full. Now, let's break down all 4 crystals and what to do in each scenario. The northwest crystal is the safest. Its melee distance tiles are always safe from Vasa. When Vasa leaves this crystal, just switch to range gear and attack him. You don't have to move anywhere. The southwest crystal is a little bit more complicated. If Vasa moves here, always stay within the safe tiles until Vasa has reached the crystal. Only then can you move to attack the crystal. When Vasa moves off of it, you can switch to range gear and attack him, but do not move. You have to stay in this position until he moves north or east. Then you can go back to the safe tiles. If he goes west or south, you must stay in this position until he reaches a crystal. If Vasa chooses the northeast crystal, click to attack him and let your character be dragged. You can only move to attack the crystal once Vasa is completely inside the east wing near the entrance, and also turns to touch the crystal. When Vasa moves off of this crystal, you have to run west to the safe tiles immediately. It'll be dangerous to stay here once Vasa leaves the east wing. If Vasa chooses the southeast crystal, always ignore it. There are no safe tiles here, and just move towards the west wing safe tiles while Vasa is on it, and then focus DPS on the boss when he comes off. This also means if we're meant to kill the next crystal Vasa goes to, and he chooses this one, we will have to ignore it and kill the one after it instead, assuming Vasa doesn't choose southeast. After each crystal that we ignore, Vasa will do another teleport attack. Continue to DPS Vasa from safety until he reaches the center. Once again, if you're teleported and stunned, eat to high HP and spam click west. Remember to turn on range pray. If you're teleported away, go to the west side of Vasa and pray mage, then run further west once the teleport is over. This is what the fight should look like represented in a smaller scale.